How's it going, everyone? This is PC here, and I am joined with a very special guest, Fan Advocacy Network.
Hello, everyone.
I've finally gotten him here on the channel because I know a lot of people have wanted to see him, and because I know a lot of my subscribers is also your subscribers too.
Awesome.
Oh yeah. So, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about what your channel is about, and we'll go from there. What's up, Cosmic Dawn? How you doing?
I talk about pop culture issues and let my opinions know, and then I get very angry comments from people who come in and let me let
Mostly
me
people
have
that
some fun.
disagree with you.
Well, it's very interesting. Most of my commentary is positive, but if I ever make fun of a content creator or somebody that doesn't know my channel, the comments I get are just the best, and this is why I do it because it's so hilarious to
Oh
watch
hell,
people just
it's just it's like watching the world catch on fire, and you're just sitting here and like, I just want to see the world burn.
well, I would like to save the world if we could, but I mean it's
Yeah.
not looking good. But I have a standard rule. I don't know about you, but my thing is that most of the commentary I get that's negative is just boring, and that's my rule. If you're gonna waste my time, don't be boring.
At least, I mean, if you're going to comment on, if you're going to disagree with him, at least threaten him a little bit, okay?
I've gotten that before, but just don't be boring. It's like I have people come in and they don't like my video, so then they call me like they're like, "Well, you watch." I've been accused of liking everyone who's right of whatever, but yeah. Anyway, I do videos where I speak my mind and I talk about stuff. I don't hold back. I feel that too many people hold back in their
Right.
commentary.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, and I think that that's one of the issues I have with most commentary channels is like they're just afraid to speak out and and call out things because they're afraid that that's not what their audience would want, or and I mean, I've done commentaries before, like you know I was part of a community that did that type of stuff, and I mean, to me, you sound more like a ranter than you do a commentator. That I mean, you remember,
Sometimes.
like, do you remember like the ranting community, like in the early 2010s, like Undertaker Freak, Archfiend, and all them?
Those names don't sound familiar, but I know what you're talking about generally.
Yeah, like Cameo Bams, those guys. That's sort of what you remind me of a little bit, because like you're very opinionated, and a lot of
It's true.
these, yeah,
That's very true.
yeah, and I mean, like that's what's missing nowadays. Like, I mean, I used to be just like them back then, because I would call out like YouTube horrors, and you know like Shane Dawson and all them people. That was when it was popular to call out people.
Yeah. Well, that's
But
that's true.
anyways, uh, I was wanting to talk about, well, one of the topics we I definitely want to talk about is Matt Walsh and the quartering, which I've been watching that on Twitter like for the past few days, and it's just entertaining shit. It really is. Because you have one side that's trying to defend video games, and then the other side that is against video games. I don't really care at this point. Like, I mean, I'm not right wing or left wing, by the way, people. I'm libertarian. I mean, if you make a stupid point, I'm just gonna call you out, regardless what your position is. But I gotta say this about Jeremy. I love Jeremy, I do, but he just, like, he doesn't need to take this shit seriously. And that's my problem.
Interesting. Well, I'll tell you my opinion on Jeremy if you want to know.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Floor's all
The thing
yours.
is, I agree with Jeremy on a lot of things, but philosophically, we are very different people because he has a very similar approach to what you mentioned, like sort of like I'm in the middle, I don't care, and all this stuff. No, there are things I very much do care about,
Mm-hmm.
and one of them is like the responsibility to an audience. Like I call out people all the time, not just specifically the courting, but selling garbage tier scams like Kamikoto and established titles because they're paying you when it's obvious that
Yeah, I saw
channels
that.
like
I saw
channels
you
like
mention that.
Shadiversity
Yeah.
months ago did an amazing video about what a scam Kamikoto was. Anyone could see it. It had
Yeah.
hundreds of thousands of views, but no one wanted to see it because they're getting paid. The Daily Wire did the same thing. It's just you
Yeah.
know I I can agree with
Yeah,
somebody.
it's like, buying a star. Like, it's the same thing, you know.
Yeah, it just I have I have more standards than that, which is why I respect Nick Rekieta and people like him because
Yes.
he uses everything that he advocates for, and at the very least,
Oh yeah.
doesn't all the stuff is going to be solid.
I mean, I know people want Nick Arcade on here too. Cuz they're I mean, I ask people who they want, and I mean, that's just how it is,
Well, that would be a hell of a guest.
Oh yeah. But Nick Rekieta, like I met him at Bubba Fest 3 years ago, and I didn't think he was that tall. I really
Yeah,
didn't. But when I looked at him, like I had to look up at him, and I was like, wow, I feel adequate.
yeah. It's either one or the other. They're either really tall or they're really short.
But he was wearing some nice shorts though, plaid shorts. Like I got a picture with him on my
That's awesome.
secondary channel, Dustin Smith. That's my voice acting channel. Which, by the way, I'm a voice actor. I've been trying to get work. Some work, paid, some work not paid. You know, I take what I can get because
Yeah. Well,
that's sort of how you
best
have to
of luck to
be.
you in that. I know it's a difficult field, and unfortunately, it's filled with people that are respectfully the absolute fucking worst.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I
That's so
mean,
terrible.
Vic,
Some of them are
the Vic
great, but
stuff.
oh
Yeah.
god, yeah, and that's so long ago. But it's so sad to
Hmm.
see that stuff. Well,
Yeah.
you were talking about Matt Walsh and the quartering
Yeah.
and the difference about video games. That's not anything new.
No, it's not.
I grew up listening to that same stuff that video
Yeah.
games are the devil and they're trouble, and
Yeah.
I don't believe it. I don't buy any of it. I think
And
it's
plus, there's
nonsense.
plenty of research that's already been done on this. It's like, why does there need to be a debate?
It's not. You don't even need research. It's like if you listen back to the old arguments that Eminem and Marilyn Manson are going to make you go shoot up a school. It's like no, no, you know that.
No, if you're crazy, that's what makes you shoot up a school, not Eminem and Marilyn Manson.
It's absurd. I mean, it's ridiculous, and
Yeah, I
we've
mean,
heard it all before. And I think it's funny that the same arguments you hear from Matt Walsh are similar to the arguments you hear from the old, anti Gamergate people from like Brianna
oh my
Wu and all
God,
those other
Gamergate.
people. Video games are bad. They make you toxic. They make you. It's like it's the same.
I
It's
mean,
the same core.
I was for Gamergate like for a long time. Uh, I stopped. I stopped supporting the movement because they started attacking people, and that's when I was like, yeah, I'm done.
I mean, yeah, Gamergate's been
Because,
dead for a long time, but yeah, it's
but it
every
did have a
every movement.
purpose. I mean,
Yeah,
that
every
is,
movement,
it did have a purpose,
every
and
movement turns into that eventually,
yeah,
because eventually once it serves its purpose or goes on too long or things change, it just it's hard to move that big of a thing. So
like yeah, I was one of the people like that, was part of the whole, I stand with Vic stuff. Like I was one
Good.
of the popular people that started it. Well, I shouldn't say I was the popular person, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Uh, like a lot of people, you know, like I met a lot of people through that, and I mean I met my girlfriend because of that, and I
Oh,
don't take that.
congratulations.
Yeah, and I don't take that for granted at all. Yeah, I feel bad that it happened to Vic, but I mean, there was a lot of good things to come from that.
That's true.
And, I feel the same way about Gamergate. I met a lot of, good, great people. I met Total Biscuit. He was very big into that. You remember that?
I do remember him. Yeah.
Yeah, he was definitely forefront for Gamergate. Like he supported it.
It's so long ago. I don't remember that. I remember that he passed, and that was sad. But actually, I'm thinking back. My only real memory of Total Biscuit was was that panel
Yeah,
I that's one of
our
the first things.
traps gay. It's a
I just
meme. It's a meme.
I just yeah. That's
Yeah, it's a joke. It's based like people who don't know what that is. Uh, you know, it start. I mean, okay, I'll explain it. So
good luck.
Justin Cox, who is a close friend of Total Biscuits, he started his own convention called CoxCon or something like that. I don't remember, or Cox Fest. I don't know. I mean, he started his own convention, and it was supposed to be like a private convention, like for his community, his and Total Biscuits community, like in the UK, because they have a big following there, and uh, they basically had a panel where you could ask any questions, even if it's a mean question. And one of the guys goes up to the mic and asks Justin, because he was asking him the question, not Total Biscuit. A lot of people thought they were asking Total Biscuit the question. It was Justin Cox. Uh, uh, he asked him, "Are traps gay?" Which at first he didn't hear him. He couldn't understand him because, like, the audio, like if you watch that video, the audio like the acoustics in it are very bad where they're at, like what room they're in, which most of the time when you're in a panel room, like sounds are everywhere, like you hear people in the background, and then you hear, like if you ever go to a convention, uh like he couldn't understand what he was asking at first, and then he asked again. He said, "Do you think that traps are gay?" Which, if you're smart, if you actually understand the meme, I mean where that came from, traps are basically male characters that pretend to be female, yet they're actually male. Like they're traps. They're called traps for a reason. And
Man.
his response, his response was at first he answered in a jokingly way. Like I think he quoted something from Galaxy Quest, if I remember. I'm trying to remember the quote what he said, but it, he really didn't answer the question at all. But he knew it was a meme, yet somebody got offended over it.
Yep.
It was a trans person. They got offended over it. They were uncomfortable about it, and they told Total Biscuit about it. He got upset over it, and he basically told that person to leave the event.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, to answer the question, by the way, are traps gay? The answer is absolutely yes. They are gay. And if you are attracted to them, that you may want to ask yourself the important questions. Look in the mirror and really soul search.
Well, that was the answer I was gonna say. My answer would be it isn't if traps are gay, but if gay people are traps is the question.
Hmm.
Is the
Now
real.
this is the real philosophical stuff. This is what I'm here for.
But
You
if you're
gotta.
gay, are you a trap?
Well, if you were gay, wouldn't you present masculinely and then want another
Because you
man?
you don't have to dress as a woman to be gay. That's the
I
thing.
am wearing the perfect profile picture for this conversation. I
Everybody can
put this
see
on
that.
intentionally.
Everybody can see that. It's the trans flag. By the way, I was gonna ask you something. This was brought up to me. People actually want to know, like, your thoughts about the LGB basically divorcing the TQ plus.
I have done extensive talks on this. I have talked about this all the time. So generally speaking, my thing is that there's no man has a problem with lesbians. The L is no one has a problem with the L's. The B's, no one has a problem with the B's. The G's, some people have a problem. There's a lot of the George Takeis out there that are giving them a bad rap, talking about old men and
Oh
13-year-olds.
yeah.
But for, for the most part, nowadays people don't really have. Dave Rubin is a huge Republican or more right wing commentator, and even the trans community. Blair White is over 1 million subs,
Yeah.
so it's specific to the ideology, I think, more than the letters in the alphabet, because people do like Blair White. Blair White did a panel with Alex Jones and Tim Pool. I mean, it's just crazy. So it's not about trans; it's about the evil behind the cult and the
Yeah.
ideology, rather than who somebody is, because they're awesome gay guys, they're awesome trans people, but you know I mean, we go into Hogwarts Legacy if you want. I mean,
Oh
just
God.
pretty much any of that stuff. I think it all boils down to the type of people that I deal with are the ones that put their trans
Right.
flag in their name. They've also got a rose there, a rainbow
Yeah.
flag, resistance,
Resistance.
BLM,
BLM.
mentally ill and it's just
Which, by the way, my girlfriend, I've told her about Black Lives Matter, and she agrees with me. They're basically a cult group. They are.
it's a domestic terrorist group. I've always thought the idea of Black Lives Matter and the concept is fine. You want to advocate for a certain group.
Mm-hmm.
Jews advocate for Jews, and people who are Asian usually advocate for Asian. It's just human nature to become part of a group and express it. There's no problem with that. The problem is when you're burning down your own low income cities and towns
Mm-hmm.
and thinking that you're going to make a change when you're really just
Yeah.
hurting innocent people.
Oh
It's
yeah.
just,
Yeah, and
burning down the local Target, who does that hurt? Burning down the local Wendy's? How about the people that are going there getting paychecks week to week?
yeah. Crow asked, "What the hell did I walk into?"
Who knows? The night is young.
Dojin's wanting to know if anybody remembers Sargon of Akkad or Mr. Medicare and Anita Sarkeesian or however you spell her name.
Oh my gosh. See, I I'm so old. I remember I remember when Anita Sarkeesian was the biggest thing on the internet. I remember when you had the community manager for BioWare
Yeah,
who was retweeting and promoting feminist frequency during the Mass Effect 3 ending fiasco. That was, that's like old. We're talking Old Testament stuff here,
yeah.
um but yeah, I definitely remember that. Has she ever fulfilled her campaign, by the way? I'm just
No,
curious.
no. I don't think she ever did. I don't think she ever finished her series. I think
Yeah.
she tried to kickstart another series, from what I
Well,
heard, and that didn't get enough backers.
Uh,
Probably because people knew that it was a scam. You know.
yeah, well, the key goes up. It's so fascinating. I haven't talked about these topics in so long. It's just such a blast of nostalgia.
Oh
It's
yeah.
crazy.
Oh yeah, it is. I mean,
Yeah,
especially like if you look back, like I mean, like I don't think that anyone would disagree that Anita Sarkeesian. Like I mean, I you wouldn't think that she would be a very prominent figure to talk about when it comes to this stuff. But I mean, when all this whole shit, with Gamergate and everything started, I mean, like I never thought that that's the direction our culture would go, in a million years. Because my friend told me that this is what's going to happen. I never believed them, and I apologize to them over that. Because now I
yeah.
see it,
Well,
it's like it's an infestation.
it,
It's
it's a combination of factors all coalescing together to create this abomination, this monster.
yeah, I mean,
Algorithmic manipulation combined with, low attention spans from,
yeah.
shorter video forms, and then you've got narcissism on a fucking level that we haven't seen ever, and you combine that, and it's not good.
I mean, we're at an all-time culture war.
Yeah, yeah, I'd say that's true. And I think in many ways we're winning, and in many ways, there's more to be done.
Oh yeah.
You know,
And that
it's
I mean that's why I'm trying to create my own business with not just my YouTube brand, but I am actually trying to venture into other things too to give people alternatives, cuz that's what we need. We need more alternatives.
that's true. I'm doing the opposite. My little YouTube channel. I mean, it's like most of YouTubers. They're like most of the bigger YouTubers. They're smart. They network. They're like, oh well, I can't say anything bad about this guy.
Yeah.
I don't want to get too bad. There's this huge network here. I make a video. Hey, here Hassan Piker is the worst person on the
Yeah, I
fucking.
saw that. I saw that thumbnail.
I, I don't.
I
I
can't stand that
genuinely
guy.
don't. I don't
I
care.
can't stand him. I really can't.
I my thing is people are too obsessed with numbers. It's like the whole purpose of my channel is I
I
swing at anyone,
I mean, I can't
regardless.
stand the guy. There's a good reason I can't stand Hassan Piker. For one, like he treats anybody that has a different opinion like they're bad people. Like, if you think differently than him, then you're considered a bad person or you're a Nazi or you're this and that. And that's not the type of conversation I would want to have with anybody like that.
I said in my
Because
video about Hassan, we are diametrically opposed from every fiber of my being. I didn't get a start because my nephew or my uncle owns a multi-million dollar mega platform that I was able to leech off of. No, it's like my grandfather came to this country with absolutely fucking nothing and worked, and my dad worked, and I worked, and we fucking
yeah.
worked.
Oh yeah.
I know we give a shit.
Yeah.
It's like, so I despise people who just are given things and then take an attitude like that. It's just, it's
yeah, I
who we
mean,
are.
my grandfather, he was a janitor, for 30 years. You know,
Yeah.
raising 5 kids, you know.
Well, that's what you did back then.
Oh yeah.
Five, 7, 13 kids. Nowadays, it's just, I don't know. Well,
I mean,
I we
I'd honestly hate like I would hope that they could walk a mile in their shoes. Like one of these days it's gonna come. I mean, I talked to my boss about this, one of these days, the rich, they're gonna like here's the thing, I don't hate rich people by the way. But these entitled rich people like Hassan and Ethan and they're gonna eat their own words one of these days
yeah,
and
yeah,
they're gonna end up hanging themselves over it too.
yeah. Yeah, I mean there is a difference. Believe me, my grandfather worked. I mean, he literally came over here with his wife, who was pregnant, and his son, my uncle, and they came over here with absolutely nothing. I mean, like he had a brother here that he bunked with for a while, but he made something of himself. My
Yeah.
dad built upon that. So when I look at people, talking about how terrible America is and all that stuff, I just,
Hmm.
you know, I think this country's great. Uh,
It is. I mean, I wouldn't say that it's. I mean, I agree. It is great in some aspects, but
where
not in
else
all.
could you have people that come here for the first time from impoverished countries and through
Hmm.
their own intelligence, freedom, and will are able to, in a generation, provide wealth that is within the 1% of the
Hmm.
entire world?
I mean, I'm just saying, like, right now, in like,
Oh, well, yeah, Biden's terrible. He's a kid sniffing
with
weirdo.
Biden.
No, no doubt. Absolutely no doubt. Oh, God.
Yeah, with the current administration, it makes me think I'm living in the
Oh,
worst
God.
country in the world.
Yeah, so, I let it be known to everyone. I'm not afraid. I will be voting for Trump in 2024.
I just hope someone better. I mean, I don't
I
care.
will be voting for
I'll vote
Trump
for you. I'll
100%.
vote for you. How about
Yeah,
that?
I will. Well, you vote for me, I'm endorsing Trump.
Because I just want
100%.
somebody that knows what they're fucking doing and isn't going to keep draining money out of my pocket to where I can't support my family. You know?
That's fair, but my thing is I like fighters.
Yes.
My
It needs to
content.
be. It means to be a strong leader too. That's going
I
to
I
stand by
like
their people.
fighters. Joe Biden, fighting against a flight of stairs and
Sleepy
losing
Joe.
upwards is not exactly.
Where am I? Where am I? Eh?
Well, I mean, I think
Where
we were
am
talking
I?
about Matt Walsh in the corner, guy. We're going everywhere, but um, yeah,
I'm eager to
we're
hear.
hitting we're hitting all the
Eager to
important
hear.
notes, though.
Eager to hear.
Getting all the
Okay.
important stuff out of the way. Yeah,
That's
no,
Joe Biden. That's
I
Joe
think that
Biden.
yeah, I think that the topic of Joe Biden, we could be here for hours because I
Oh
mean,
my
I
god.
will never stop enjoying the memes.
I was like, I thought comedy left the White House, when Trump was in office. I mean, here's the thing. I voted for Trump too, and I don't hate Trump,
Well, that's
but
good.
I mean, I just, I mean, I don't know. Like,
This may be a point where we disagree. I will probably be the most avid Trump supporter for the reason of the fact that I don't give a shit about other people. That talk about, oh, he's too this. He's the most honest man in the world,
right?
and he's got a. He is. I mean, you look at what they're doing to him, all that stuff. There's not a single person I know that could deal with that and still just have the attitude like
Oh yeah,
I just don't give a shit. Every one of us, if we had to deal with a fraction of that, would be absolutely shitting our pants. But the man does it all the time, and then comes out and makes jokes and does town hall debates with CNN,
yeah.
and just
Have you ever watched the movie called Head of the State?
is that. Well, I mean, there's so many movies. Enemy of the State is with Will Smith. I don't think that's it. Head of the
Head of
State.
the State was with Christopher Tucker. I mean, not Christopher Tucker. Uh, fuck.
Oh, that would be Chris Rock.
Chris Rock. Yes, Chris
Yeah.
Rock.
Head of
He,
State.
he
Okay.
Head of the State.
But hey,
That is a yeah.
Dustin,
Yep.
if you ever say that again, I will mute. I will try to mute you right now.
I was making a joke, babe. Cause that's what Biden. Yeah, he's dumb. But Chris Rock
Hey,
though,
hey, hey, hey,
the
hey.
head of the state movie, like that movie right there, like I want if it's gonna be a president, I would want them. I mean, I want them to be strong, yes, but at the same time, I would want them to be like us, the people.
Yeah,
You know,
which is why I support Trump because the man knows McDonald's better than the employees.
I'd
What
want a
if it's
liber.
Yeah.
else?
I would want a libertarian though. That's the thing.
You know
I'm.
what?
What
We've
someone
never had a
else?
libertarian. We've never had
You
a
know what?
libertarian
You know,
president.
I am more libertarian than not. I mean, I live in the middle of nowhere. I moved from California, by the way. Got the hell out of there. Sold my business. Moved up here. Bought a thing. I live on a compound now. They call it compound. It just, but
But you need to
I,
watch that movie. It's a good movie. Head of
I
State. It's
I will watch that.
hilarious.
But I'll tell you what. I am libertarian in most respects as well. But I love Trump because I will take the guy who eats KFC with a fork and knife on a private airplane, as opposed to all these other people that are just fake. I just me personally, I will fight for that man because God, he's so damn funny. Uh,
But yeah, I liked Chris Rock's Netflix special on Will Smith. Oh my god.
I actually didn't. I didn't. It's not that I didn't like it. It's that I thought there'd be more punch to it. No pun intended.
Well,
I thought
there
that.
kind of was with Will. Like
Yeah, but
he
it's like kind of was. Look, if I were slapped at the Oscars on stage in front of everyone,
I know.
and a
Yeah,
year later people were still talking about it, and that meme of me getting slapped was everywhere for everyone to see, that entire thing would be just me just fucking exploding everywhere.
yeah. Cause
That's not a
I would have
sexual.
fucking hit it.
It's not
I
a.
would.
It's, people watching this on a sexual innuendo. I mean, it's like literal explosion. Like think of Total Recall.
But
Um,
if you watched that, Will like he was laughing at first. Like
well,
when Chris Rock made that joke about Jada, like Will was laughing, but then he looks at his wife, realizes she ain't laughing, so he's upset.
if I can impart one bit of information on young men, it's to be absolutely sure you're with the right woman.
Yeah.
Because one moment, you're the coolest guy on the fucking planet. You're the Fresh Prince. Every movie you make is gold. And then your woman comes out and press conferences you that she slept with your son's best friend, and all of a sudden you find yourself banned from the Oscars and a laughing stock around the world.
Mhm.
So picking the right girl who will support you and not basically like be like I slept with another guy. How does that make you feel? That
Yeah.
sort of stuff. Just
Yeah.
picking the right girl to build you up is very very
That
important.
was funny though. Chris Rock saying, I mean, you go into your wife's interviewing you. I sucked another guy's dick. How does that make you feel?
Uh, Man, I don't understand.
That
Celebrities
was
are real.
funny. That was funny. I couldn't
I,
help it.
I feel for him though. His kids are all like they them's weird.
They zim
His wife
zim.
is emasculating him. It's just
Yeah,
anyway.
that's sad. What I mean, that's what they're teaching kids nowadays. That's all right. That you could be whatever
Mm,
you want. You could be a unicorn with rainbows all over you, and call yourself whatever you want. And I
Well,
was
I have a
never.
question for
Yeah.
you. I have a question for you actually.
Yes.
I see on your logo that you've got, it's a tangential thing, but I see that you've got a Triforce and wings on your hat.
Yes.
Are you excited for Tears of the Kingdom?
Yes, I am. I mean,
That's right, my man.
hang on one second. Hang on. Am I excited? Am I excited? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I have two copies. I got two copies of the original Legend of Zelda for some
M-
reason.
My
Uh,
man.
like, wait. It says chat disconnected. Please wait while we try to reconnect you. Oh shit. Are we disconnected?
And we've just
Oh,
been talking to
successfully
ourselves the
connected.
entire time.
Okay, successfully connected. Okay. But yeah, I'm looking forward to Tears of the Kingdom. I mean, I'm a big Zelda fan. My girlfriend can even tell you that.
That's
He sure
that's awesome.
is.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
that's great. Yeah, I
I
can't wait.
mean, that was my first video game I ever played was the original Zelda, and I don't know why I have two copies of the original Legend of Zelda. I don't know.
That's not a bad problem to have.
I mean, I also got the Zelda collection. I got it on Wii. I got it on Switch. I got it on just about every single system you could think of.
That's awesome. I just was curious.
But
I saw the
yes,
hat
Tears
and
of the
I couldn't
Kingdom.
help.
I'm looking forward to Tears of the Kingdom. I saw that article
We're a
that
day away.
Kotaku posted.
I
Yeah, I'm
did
I'm
a
not
video
gonna.
on that. God damn, they are slimy.
Yeah,
Oof.
we gotta talk about that.
Oh
So I
God,
mean,
they
I
are
made a
slimy.
video about it, by the way. You know, like this is what I was talking about. Like ethics with gaming journalism. Like that's why I was glad about GamerGate. In ways because it's good to expose these hacks, which I call them hacks. Like you see it with Hogwarts Legacy, and then now you're seeing it with Tears of the Kingdom. These journalists, th- like they're hacks. They don't know what they're talking about, and they only want to spin their narrative.
That is true.
And the sad part about it is that they think by spoiling the game that is going to entice people to not go out of their way to purchase it.
So I've done a couple videos.
Because they did the same thing to Hogwarts Legacy.
Well, yes and no. The Hogwarts Legacy was that was a different animal entirely.
Oh
But
yeah.
I did a couple videos on. I mean, just to further alienate myself from all other content creators, just to establish that there are absolutely no bridges. I did a video about why I hate Western video game content creators, or why I don't like
Uh-huh.
their attitude. I think that they're narcissistic, just generally speaking, because more often than not, you have people that think that it's okay to, take a game like that, put it online, spoil it for everyone, and just have this attitude like, oh no, it's perfectly fine. I can do whatever I want.
Yeah,
Um,
because Nintendo company bad. You know.
but I gotta tell people who think that Nintendo is too harsh.
They're not.
Let me let me just put this in perspective because no one talks about this. I did a video on this. No one understands this in the West. If you had something as valuable as The Legend of Zelda, and other people were attempting to steal it, and they were outright downloading it, pirating it, and even advertising it, I guarantee that every one of you who say that Nintendo is the big bad, you would be 10
Oh
times
yeah.
more vicious, vindictive. You'd be going after, you'd be like, that YouTube channel had 2 subscribers and they did a video on it, burn them down to the ground. Because many people can't understand the type of money, the type of business that we're dealing with here.
Yeah.
People are like, I want to build a business. If you build a business and people are stealing from you, that's
Yeah.
not just you as an evil company. That's your employees. That's your advertising. That's your R&D. That's everything. That is you.
You. Yeah.
All the work you did. You spent 30 years on The Legend of Zelda. All these other franchises, you're watching them be flushed down the toilet by Western content creators. Star Trek, Star Wars, everything
Mhm.
flushed down the drain. But you, this Japanese company, you're like, we're protecting The Legend of Zelda. We're going to make it last another 30 fucking years, which
Yeah. It's gonna. It's gonna. I
and
mean,
then people wonder why they get so mad. It's
I
like,
think Mildred. I think Mildred. We talked about this last night. About the next movie that Nintendo's possibly gonna make would be a Zelda movie,
yeah.
which it makes sense because I mean Zelda's their second biggest franchise underneath Mario.
I've criticized Nintendo before. I mean, there's
Same
so
here.
many
Same
there's
here.
so many opportunities to make money. It makes me sad that there's so many people that squandered
Oh
this
yeah.
opportunity. Like with all the anticipation for Tears of the Kingdom, if Nintendo were smart, they would have released an in-between Netflix animated Legend of Zelda series that has a story that goes between Tears of
Yeah.
the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
Do you know how many fucking eyeballs would be on? Do you know how much money they would make off that?
Yeah.
Sponsorships. they'd make enough money up the fucking ass, and they would give
But
fans something.
the thing though is they did sort of do that with Hyrule Warriors Cadence. Yeah, Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. Yeah, Age of Calamity,
I
which
played the game. I liked it. It wasn't what was needed because it's not canon. People wanted more of the actual story.
yeah, and
It would be sort of like, oh, wouldn't it be cool if we got a Star Wars, like straight to streaming service series about what would happen if Ahsoka went back in time and visited Anakin on Mustafar? It's like, yeah, that would be kind of neat,
yeah.
but that's not canon. It's like
Like
it'd
I
be cool
told
to
Mark
watch.
though, I'm not the biggest Star Wars fan. I'm more of a Star Trek fan because
Yeah,
I'm more familiar with Star Trek than I was Star Wars.
I was fortunate enough. I liked them both. I did. I liked the fantasy and the epic story of Star Wars, and I liked the nerdy shit in Star Trek.
Yep.
Yeah,
Have
it's
you ever played any games that involve like RPG games?
have I played RPG games? Oh, absolutely.
Mhm.
Does Zelda 2 count as an RPG?
Yes, it does. I mean, it's the black. I mean, a lot of people consider it the black sheep.
I I have played many RPGs. When I not to date myself here, which isn't the same thing as being asexual, by the way. It just to carbon date myself. Um, when I went to school, there was a great debate going on between The Legend of Zelda and Final Fantasy VII. That was the thing. Everyone was playing these two games.
Yep.
And I was fortunate enough to be able to play both of them. So,
I
um,
had to stick with Nintendo 64.
yeah,
I didn't get to have a PlayStation until later. Gosh, my mic keeps falling. Um,
yeah. I was lucky enough to get one of each, and only because my parents got me an N64, and then my uncle got me
PlayStation.
a PlayStation, which yeah.
Wow.
Which game do you like better though? Final Fantasy 7 or Ocarina of Time?
Oh, I would say that's a really tough question, putting me on the spot here.
Of
Now,
course.
if this were back in the school days, this could start a real turf war. But
Yeah, it
um,
would.
um, I would say I like Ocarina of Time better.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just something about that game was really special. Final Fantasy VII was incredible. Which, by the way, completely tangential, but I mentioned this in my videos. For all the people out there trying to erase black people from video games and
Yeah.
entertainment, one of the main characters of Final Fantasy VII, all the way back in 1990, what 7 or 8, was Barrett,
Black.
one of the
Yep.
most beloved
Black
characters. And
Barrett.
guess what? He was a cool Mr. T looking badass black guy. So
Yeah.
to all the people that say gamers are racist, you're just clueless and desperate for virtue and attention.
Oh yeah. I mean,
Trust me, I've gone on this rant so many times, and it never ceases to amaze me because I grew up. It's like you look at culture. Like when I was growing up, who is the greatest boxer of all time? It's like, well, Mike Tyson was great. Muhammad Ali.
Lee,
Who is the greatest golfer? Well, it was
Tiger
obviously Tiger
Woods,
Woods. Who's the greatest basketball player? Well, you got Michael Jordan. You've got Magic
Larry.
Johnson. You've got Kobe Bryant is in there.
You also had Larry Bird too.
Larry Bird was great. The point was that it wasn't like this predominantly overly white
Yeah.
centric, only white people. Lando Calrissian, fucking
Yeah,
Samuel L. Jackson.
it's kind of like what they try to do with women as well. Like there's not any strong female lead characters in gaming.
I tell you what, for the longest time, I thought Sarah Connor was one of the greatest characters ever written because she actually had an arc and a story.
Rhea
It's just
Ripley for me. I mean
Rhea
Ridley.
Ripley.
Ridley.
Oh well,
Ridley.
I thought you said Rhea.
Rhea Ridley.
I thought
Sorry.
you were talking
Not
about
Rhea
wrestling.
Ripley.
I got
Rhea
wrestling on the
Ripley.
brain.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I'm just still traumatized. A friend of mine is like, "Hey, you should watch WWE." I'm like, "Why would I do that?" Well, because Brock Lesnar's going to be the
Ellen
one.
Ripley. Sorry, Ellen Ripley.
Alan, yeah,
Ellen Ripley. Sorry.
Sigourney
God.
Weaver. Yeah, Sigourney Weaver,
Yeah.
who was amazing. And by the way, she was the love interest in Ghostbusters.
Yep.
So no matter where you look in time, it's just all this virtue signaling is pointless because it's just fiction.
Sorry. And if we want to talk about video game characters, I mean Samus.
Oh, oh, don't you know this? God.
Yeah, I'm playing it. I'm still working on that video, by the way. I'm gonna have it. I mean, it's gonna be a long one. I mean, I'm going all act man on it. Like,
Yeah. Didn't you
I'm.
know that Samus is trans?
No, she's not. Shut up.
Oh
She's
my
not
God.
trans. She
I
is
tell you, I
not
tell you,
fucking trans,
I tell
and
you what.
I have
It's
proof
so
that she is not trans.
well,
Cause I've read the interviews. I mean, I speak a little bit. I mean, I speak Japanese. I am like 100% for sure that the developers did not, they did not make her trans. Like
no,
in the
of course.
original, okay, in the original Metroid manual, in the American version, they wanted to leave her ambiguous. Like they wanted her to be, a surprise. That's
It
why they
was, it
refer
was a surprise.
to him as Metroid instead of Samus. Like, because we don't know who this person is that we're fighting in the first Metroid. We don't know because we haven't beaten the game yet. Yet when you beat the game and you see her, him or her remove their helmet, you find out, wow, it's a girl. Holy crap.
Yep. I
How
mean,
how do you react when you found out that Samus is a girl?
Well, I mean, I beat the game in under an hour, so
yeah,
Oh, sure. I'm
yeah,
pretty
yeah,
sure. I'm pretty
because
sure.
if you beat the game in less than an hour, you see her like remove
yeah.
more and more of her
You seen her
clothes.
in her birthday suit, but I thought it was cool. And by the way, when I grew up, I mean, you had all kinds of female characters. You had, I mean, do we mention Tifa from Final Fantasy VII
Tifa.
or
I mean, you
Aerith?
also had Marin in Chrono Trigger,
Which, by the way, let me just also mention this
Luca,
for those who weren't alive at the time. Let me just give you a little insight into the window of what it was like. Spoiler alert: Aerith dies in Final Fantasy VII. Okay,
oh
I know
no!
the game is like decades old, but let me tell you something.
How
You
dare you?
you
How
want
dare
to
you?
you want to talk about oh, gamers hate women. I have friends that were inconsolable. I kid you not. They were like, she died and I couldn't save her. I mean, you back in the
You ain't
day,
gonna save her.
no, you couldn't. But you had people who were
Laura Croft.
inconsolable. They loaded up their save file beforehand because they thought they did something wrong. I had a friend who replayed the game. They're like, I did something wrong. I gotta save. Realized that he was.
Wow.
eh,
Why is everyone? Why is everyone seeing that character?
I don't know. I was always a Tifa guy myself, but some people just they're like, I don't like losing this character, and they became attached. It's just gamers have been very much like that for a long time. They will go through great pain if they care about a character just to replay a scene or do something over. And I mean, let's see what other games you got.
Laura Croft. I mean, obviously
Yeah,
Laura
yeah, yeah,
Croft.
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, and it's yeah. In Final Fantasy VII, they said it's one of the saddest game deaths ever.
Why?
Well, because a lot of people liked that character
Yeah,
for whatever reason, they had a huge like some kind of connection. You see that with people that really really like the character. They just for some reason,
yeah,
I didn't get it like to that degree. I'm like, oh, one of my teammates died, but there were a lot of people that were really really sad about that,
yeah,
which goes to tell you that not all gamers are these women hating machines.
yep. Yeah, and I mean, Chrono Trigger like has multiple endings. Like, you know,
Chrono Trigger is phenomenal. Oh
Yeah,
man.
one of the endings in Chrono Trigger is, like the whole world ends, like the world just gets destroyed, and it says, uh, and it never changed, and the world refused to change.
Yeah, if the game were made today, you get the main game, and each alternate ending is $9.99. If you pay now, they're $8.99 each.
But the future refused to change, not the world. The future refused to change. That's the bad
Oof.
ending. That's it. That's the bad ending. The apocalypse
Yeah.
in Chrono Trigger, which Chrono Trigger is my favorite RPG of all time.
So what was your girlfriend's name again?
Her name is BJ Starshine, but uh,
Justin!
you could call her Naya.
Nine.
Hmm.
BJ Starshine.
Oh,
That's a cool.
yeah. I mean, Justin! Ah! Why you have to
Um,
tell me about who I really am? I want to know.
It's
so
okay.
what is your
It's
favorite
okay.
RPG? You mentioned RPGs. What is your favorite RPG?
I I remember playing Dragon Quest.
Dragon
Dragon
Well,
Quest.
Quest.
Dragon Quest 9 is like the first Dragon Quest game I ever played.
Interesting. Yeah, was that the one with the? Well, they all have blue things in them.
The Essentials of Starry
The slime.
Skies.
Interesting. Let's see.
Yeah,
Yeah, Dragon Quest was originally made by Enix, uh, which they would fuse with Square and become Square Enix. But
Wow, that's
Enix
so long
Enix
ago.
made a lot of great RPGs. I mean,
can't believe
Illusion of
Dustin. You got a
Gaia.
lot of knowledge about video games.
Uh, oh yeah, I mean when it comes to this stuff, I do because I've played just about every single Enix game there is. ActRaiser 2, which
Mhm.
they mostly made like action RPGs. Uh, have you ever heard of a game called Lagoon?
Lagoon.
Mm-hmm. Lagoon
Nice.
for the Super Nintendo. It's kind of like the Yi series. You've heard of Yi's, right?
You mean the Kanye West shoe?
No, the Yeez. It's
Yeah.
called the YS series. Yeez series.
Yeah.
It's like the original Japanese like computer role playing game, like where you basically hack and slash. Like you constantly use your sword and you have a short range, but your health automatically regenerates.
Interesting.
Which actually the first Japanese RPG that came out for home computers was Highlight. You've probably heard of that one, right?
High life.
Highlight.
Oh, highlight. Yeah, that was that. That was that rip
Da,
off
da,
of
da,
the Legend of Zelda.
da, 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 da.
Yeah.
The Indiana
Yeah.
Jones. Yeah,
Yeah. I remember.
I played the computer version, the MSX version. It's pretty good.
That's awesome.
I think Highlight is a really good game. I do, but unfortunately, it came out after The Legend of Zelda on the NES. So a
Yeah.
lot of people were saying it's a Zelda ripoff, But
Yep.
actually,
The
Highlight
Zelda.
came out before Zelda did.
Really? So the
So,
Zelda
Yes.
is a highlight ripoff. Wow.
Well, while Highlight did come out before Zelda, Zelda did it better.
Huh?
I will say that because with Zelda, like, there's more like dungeons to explore and everything. The overworld is fun to explore. In Highlight, some instances it's not as fun to explore the overworld, but like I kind of like Highlight. I do. I think
Good.
for what it is, like I think it's a really good game. I mean,
Good.
but getting off topic here. Uh, Enix made a lot of great classic games.
They did.
They made Dragon Quest, which, that was inspired by Wizardry and Ultima, which, like my friend Mildred said to me, he doesn't like the word JRPG because there's really no distinction. I mean, because let's think about it. JRPG, okay? Like, if that's the case, then wouldn't Dark Souls be a JRPG?
Hmm.
Yet a lot of people would say, no, it's not. It's not a JRPG, even though it's developed by Japanese developers.
That's an interesting point. Hmm.
But a lot of people don't consider it a JRPG.
That's true.
Or Elden Ring. I mean, wouldn't Elden Ring be a JRPG? I mean, if like they don't have a distinct definition for what a JRPG is.
Wow. Yeah, that's
But
true.
but yeah, I mean, like going back though to Enix. Yeah, they made Dragon Quest, which that became popular and that led to, Final Fantasy, you know, in 1987. Which, did you know that here's a fun fact actually about Dragon Quest that I found out. So, when they released Dragon Quest here in North America, it was called Dragon Warrior because the people that tried to market it and Nintendo, which Nintendo was the one that published it. They published
Right.
Dragon Warrior. And they thought, yes, this is a popular RPG series, but what can we call it? How about Dragon Quest? Oh shit, we can't do that because there's already an Atari game called Dragon Quest. So let's call it Dragon Warrior. And let's, let's have a contest, and give away free copies of the game for those that had Nintendo Power. Yeah, that'll get people to play our game.
Well, yep, not everyone is great at marketing.
Yeah, that's the point I was getting at. Like marketing back then for those type of games, like they just weren't, like it wasn't that people weren't into it. It's just that it was a very niche market.
That's fair.
And plus, I mean, a lot of people were enjoying Zelda. I mean, that was the mentality that they started thinking. Okay, people like Zelda. Okay, so why not make games that are like Zelda that are for Americans? Ah, I got
Uh,
it. Let's simplify it. Let's call it Final Fantasy Mystic Quest, a game made for stupid Americans.
and
And that's how we
um,
got Final Fantasy Mystic Quest.
beautiful.
Because Square tried to jump on board of trying to introduce RPGs to dumb Americans like me.
Mm.
Which I don't hate Final Fantasy Mystic Quest. I really don't. Even though it's a very insulting game. It really is. Cuz it's really easy. Like a baby.
Yeah,
It's like something you'd give to a baby. Their first RPG.
or a games journalist.
Or games Oh my god. We got to talk about that because like do you think that journalists should be good at games? Like if I mean, I'm not the most competent gamer. I mean, I my skills, I mean, I'm not the best at gaming. I'm really not. I just play for fun. But if it's my job to cover games, wouldn't it be like to the best of interest and to have a good solid foundation of my job and what I'm supposed to do, you know, wouldn't it make sense if I was actually good at the game and not be just bouncing around
Yeah,
and
there is required a level of competency that
competency?
has to
That's
match
what
at
I was
least
thinking of.
the most basic player. Because I used to be a fan of Top Gear and of what's it called now, Grand Tour and stuff. it's like if they were to do reviews of the cars, but none of them could drive, like they were just completely terrible at driving, well, then their opinions would not really be as respected or admired at all. They, if they couldn't drive, but they were reviewing these cars, people would view them, negatively. If they got into the car and didn't know how it worked and then ended up crashing, which is the case of many games journalists when it comes to playing the games, that does allow people to come in and make a valid point that you don't have to be an expert, but you have to have competency to be able to
Hmm.
eat the tutorial.
Especially if you, and especially if that's your job, if that's your only job. I mean, at least do it competently. And if you suck at it, I mean, don't say the game's bad because you suck at it.
Yeah, that's fair. You know,
But that's what
Yeah.
I was getting at. Like, do you think that journalists, need to get good?
I think that you can have perspectives on certain things even if you don't even play games. It's like anyone can critique art, but how seriously I take you
Mm-hmm.
is dependent upon your versatility. So if you can play the game and talk about certain things in depth and do so in a way that doesn't show a complete and total bias and do so in a way that, isn't just verbal effluvia,
Mm-hmm.
then I think that, yeah, then, if you can do that in a coherent way, then sure. But unfortunately, what we get from most of these gaming journalists is Kotaku level writing.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, Kotaku be Kotaku.
Yeah, yeah. They've been Kotaku for a long time.
I mean that's the thing with Kotaku is like does anybody really take them seriously anymore, or were they taken
No.
seriously ever?
You want to know something interesting? I don't keep up to date much with any of that stuff anymore. I just don't care. I mean, they're irrelevant.
Right,
It's like I don't go to Polygon, I don't go to Kotaku. I don't care what they have to say, and I guess
right,
that's a fate worse than not liking them. I just nothing them.
right.
They could die tomorrow and nothing changes.
But you don't think
Irrelevancy.
you don't think that gaming journalism should go away though. Period. Right.
No, and there are people that can single-handedly with a webcam and a microphone do a much better
Yes.
job than the professionals can.
And that's the point of my channel. I can do this better than what they can. You know, I could be
Well,
entertaining
that's true.
and
However, that's not really a badge of honor. A
no,
chimpanzee
no,
could do a better job than they can. I
a
mean,
caveman could. Well, my cousin, my 5-year-old cousin could do better than Kotaku.
yeah, because at least if you recorded them playing the game,
I'm
at the
doing
very
well,
least they're going to
James.
have an authentic experience, and they're probably going to be better.
Yeah, James Ross said, "Hey, Captain, hope you're doing well. I'm doing good." But I'm glad though. Like I get to have a conversation with you about this stuff because it's like like I've like I've sort of my channel sort of went towards that direction of yours, like talking about trendy stuff. But I've mostly been talking about gaming stuff mostly because I mean that's my interest. I'm not interested in comic books. Like,
Yeah. Well,
I
neither is the customers.
yeah, I could never get into a comic book. Not like I could with, manga, which, of course, I got Ghost in the Shell, which
Want to
that's what
know
I'm
the
reading
the
right now.
saddest thing about that
Yeah.
is the fact that manga, in many ways, was inspired by American comic books, but they become so terrible that manga are now the inspiration for American comic books.
Yeah.
It I mean, is that not just absolutely crazy? They
Yeah.
used to be so good that they inspired something else, but now they become so bad that they've had to rely on the things that they helped create.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, I will also mention that manga artists, not always, but usually, are a one-man team. So they, pencil it, draw it, do all the stuff themselves. There's no, talking between people, different ideologies. A purple-haired land whale gets offended at a joke, and so the editor has to step in. No, just one person making all the decisions,
Right.
for better or worse. They do it all themselves. I mean, that is the most cost-effective, efficient thing you could possibly do. And these people who make these these manga, are so passionate and driven that they're willing to just pretty much put themselves
Yeah.
damn near in the grave.
I mean, it's like I said, I'm glad that there's alternatives. I mean, there's YouTubers that have, started their own comic series, getting their own
Yeah,
stories out there.
yeah.
Have you ever considered doing something like that?
Starting a comic series?
Mm-hmm.
No, no, heavens no.
I mean, I saw your avatar. I was like, I was wondering,
So, so I had an initial concept for that, that I was going to do a while back, but I've got so much stuff going on up here. I couldn't make a whole new book. Although it would be fascinating, but I don't have the infrastructure for it.
right.
It's like I mention all the time, my YouTube channel and what I do at this point. It took me a while to get comfortable with where I am,
Mm-hmm.
but I am. You said a rant channel.
Yeah.
I think I
Yeah.
am. I think I am an eloquent rant channel at the best
Eloquent.
of times, and a very drunken, very upset rant channel at the worst of times. But I like to, I understand what my thing is. I'm not going to be the comic book. I'm not a comic pro that has an insider access. If I wanted to make a comic book, I'd have to front load all the money up front, and there is zero guarantee of success. In fact, I don't have the infrastructure to make something like that. So no, I wouldn't do that. I have ideas and stuff like that, but Um, no, I would never do that because it's just not my thing.
Right. Because, I mean, I know a lot of people like to. I mean, I know people probably compare you to, Yellow Flash and Tug and, a lot of
Uh,
them. So that's.
I've been compared to worse people.
Do you hate them? Do you hate Tug and.
No, 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 no. I
Okay.
just mean that I've been compared to worse people.
Oh,
Usually, if people are making comparison, like, oh, I've been compared to worse. No, I don't have any problem with them at all.
right. But I mean, I was just saying, like a lot of people like that. That was my. I mean, I guess that was when I first watched your channel. Like I was like, fan advocacy. I think at first, like I was like, he's gonna end up being as big as Yellow Flash and Tug and all them because you know
I made what some people would consider to be the carnal mistake that for what I do, which
mm-hmm,
is I go after go after everyone.
yeah,
There are certain things that I mean, if you want to grow fast, being in a network, being in a group of people, being like that, that's definitely the best way to go about it.
mm-hmm,
Getting onto larger people's channels and all that stuff, that's just not, it's not what I do. I pick fights, well, not really fights. I just share my opinion about people, whether
yeah,
they're the biggest streamer on Twitch or, whether they're, the quartering or whatnot. And
yeah,
people don't like to be criticized, and it's a reality that the side effect of that is that I'm not going to be friends with a lot of people.
right. and
It's
that's
just
and
not.
that's fine. I mean, there's a
Oh,
lot
it
of
is. I prefer it that way because I hate cliques and I hate
yeah,
groups,
because
and it's like
and that's
I
the
take the
thing.
Nick Rekieta approach. I just
And
like LawTube is gay. Yeah, groups like that are just. they're not good. Better to go it alone, even if it's detrimental to your.
Kind of like with the Path NES Punk stuff. Like, have you followed that?
I know who that is. Um, I don't know any of the up to date stuff. Last I saw, I didn't like the guy because he was. I mean, he. It was so long ago. He made some asinine, stupid. I think if I'm thinking about the right guy, he made some kind of comment that I didn't like. I thought it was obnoxious.
It was about Diablo Immortal.
Was it? Was that what it was?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, but probably
Yeah,
something
saying
about that.
that everybody's entitled babies
Yeah.
because
Oh, how dare you?
how dare you have an
Oh,
opinion about a mobile game? How dare you?
how
I mean,
dare
you
you
should
pay
be
all this
Oh
money
yeah,
to go to this
listen to
fucking event?
this. Listen to
Oh god.
this. He said that we should be grateful that
Um,
Blizzard does like BlizzCon and stuff like that.
yeah.
Instead
So
of
that was
Blizzard
the last.
being grateful to the fans that actually
Yeah,
support them.
that was the last I heard about the guy. And by the way, let me just also say for the record, if you pay money to go to an event like BlizzCon or whatever, and you're sitting there, you booked a hotel, you paid, you went to the whole thing for the weekend, and their last thing is a mobile game, you have every right to complain and voice your
Yes. Oh yeah. I mean, I found it funny when the guy asked, "Is this a early
April
April
Fools.
Fool's joke? Is this an April Fool's joke?"
Yeah. Well, it's like this has been very interesting. I haven't talked about video game stuff, issues in such a long time. It's been pretty fun. I talked about Tears of the Kingdom and stuff, but
Yeah.
most of my content these days, it seems like it's focusing on like Disney and
Yeah, I mean that was
other
another.
stuff,
Yeah, I
and
think
it's
that
just
was another thing I wanted to talk about was Disney,
oh
because I
boy,
mean I've talked about them before with Mark, I think, and my girlfriend, she's a big Disney fan, by the way.
there's nothing
uh,
wrong with that. I used to be a Disney fan too.
like, and she understands and sees the problems with Disney, don't you, babe?
Yeah.
So my question would be, all right, you're a company. You're like, we want to embrace pride acceptance. Why, if you are a kids company, essentially, would you have an after-hour drag show at
Yeah.
Disneyland with all of your characters wrapped up in the rainbow flag? What is? Somebody explain that to me. I don't understand. Why would you do that?
Because I mean that's the state of Disney. Like they would rather pander to they would rather pander to a group of people that's never going to actually care or watch or engross themselves in their product than actually, you know, make good content. Which, here's the thing: my mom, she went to see Guardians of the Galaxy 3. You know,
Hmm?
she loves Chris Pratt. I mean, my mom, she's a big Chris Pratt fan. Uh,
Isn't he so hunky?
yeah, and that's the only thing she went there for was him. And she liked. I mean, she likes the movie. She does. But even her, like, she was like, it was kind of boring.
Yeah, they're out of ideas, but it's like I'm a marketing guy. I look at
But
I,
she
I
liked
look at
it because of him.
but I look at Disney and it's like, okay, Mickey Mouse, Minnie Mouse, Goofy, Donald Duck, Pluto to a lesser extent. These characters are iconic. They have so much value in them, but you are willingly, actively dressing them up in the rainbow flag. Which, by the way, for those who don't know, I view the rainbow flag and the trans flag that I have here as a hate symbol. It is absolutely a hate symbol. You dress your characters up in that and do an after hours drag show. I don't understand. Make it make sense.
yeah, and not just that. I mean, like, did you see the? Is I got a question, babe. Is Bluey a Disney show?
No, it was actually
Okay,
created from Australia.
okay. Like
And
a lot of these kid shows, they're now going woke too. Like this Bluey show, they talked about fat shaming.
Huh.
well, it's all coming from it's all I believe it's all coming from because remember, Australia I'm pretty sure Australia is um
Prison
source
colony?
source of entertainment is a whole lot different than what we have here in America.
Is it British communism?
Hmm.
Mm,
I'm just kidding. No,
no, come on. I mean,
I'm
Blue's
joking.
supposed to be a show for everyone.
I'm joking, by the way, for my Australian viewers. I'm sorry.
I'm not. You're a prison colony and you don't exist.
I'm sorry, guys. But anyways, like they were talking about fat shaming, and here's the thing, like about
Only
the whole
by
fat
one
shaming movement thing.
scene in there. One scene.
Like the whole fat shaming movement, like that's been a big thing, because oh, you can't talk about this person's weight. I mean, it's part of who they are. It's how they were born, or something like that. Because now
Born.
they're including that with the LGBTQ plus stuff. I was born this way. I was born this way.
So I will just make it clear my position
Honey, just
on
don't put
my
Lady Gaga
position
onto this.
specifically on fat women who parade their fat in public. I
Yeah,
think that
that's what I'm talking about.
that should be a crime. My fucking eyes, that's assault. If
Yeah.
I have to see Lizzo jiggling her fucking fat ass for no reason, it's like, oh, we're not going to Lizzo and like, hey, you know what, take your clothes off and whatever. No, we're just like, please put more on. And by the way, don't cameo on Star Wars as Jabba the Hutt. Just if you do you, I wouldn't fat shame anyone unless they're like Amy Schumer and they're like, well, I just
Oh
saw a
God.
fucking thing on Twitter
Oh
where
boy.
Lizzo decided that she was going to post a naked picture to the internet.
Yeah.
What? Who? What did I do to anyone to fucking deserve that?
Honey,
I get.
honey, how do you see me when you first saw me?
I mean, here's the thing. Okay, like the whole fat shaming movement. I mean, here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
I understand there are people that can't control, their weight, and are having a hard time losing weight. And they want to be positive about it, and that's fine. You could be positive about it, but you can't force people to just accept you when you are literally killing yourself. Because and they even get offended over doctors when they say obese, which that's a scientific term, by the way,
Yeah.
people. That's a scientific term.
So my thing on it is very simple. I don't go out of my way to make fun of fat people. I
No.
don't like if I see
I mean,
somebody
I'm
who's fat.
fat. I mean, I'm fat.
It depends. If somebody says something obnoxious, like some blue haired land whale says something stupid, okay, and maybe I'll throw in amongst the other criticisms the fact that she looks like she's the size of a planet.
She looks like
But
Cartman from South Park.
but if someone's just overweight, I don't give a shit. I don't care.
No.
I'm not going to make fun of them. But when Lizzo is
No.
taking off all her clothes and posting the picture online and saying, "Aren't I beautiful?" and
Yeah,
people are
that's
posting it, and I've got to fuck.
yeah, exactly. Are you still there? Fan? Advocacy? Oh shit, zombie Fanny saying, "Let me get my booze." Oh my god. I think we lost it. Oh shit. But I mean, I don't. Here's the thing, babe. I thought you were very beautiful. First of all, when I first saw you, and I mean, I respect everybody, regardless if they're overweight or not. But I don't like when people talk about fat pride like it's something to be proud of. It's really not. I mean, they're killing themselves. That's what gets me. You know, what gets me is, they they
Am
refuse
I
to.
back?
Yeah, you're back. Sorry. My problem is when they refuse to take any sort of criticism. Like when a doctor tells you, uh, like if a doctor tells you, are you putting on? I mean, like when they basically tell you the facts, try to help you improve your life. Maybe you should, cut off on some of the junk food and stuff. Which I'm
Oh,
I have food issues as well.
oh my God, is this thing working? The internet is really upset that I made fun of Lizzo. It is go. Oh man, it is it is an attack. Like, how dare you make fun of that beautiful?
Keep it in it's PC.
Oh boy, yeah, I cut out there for a little bit.
You're all right. I can hear you now.
All right. Whew. Well, I won't be mentioning Lizzo anymore.
Uh, I think. Hang on. Yeah, zombie fan said he's getting his booze. He thinks this is entertaining.
Boy, that
Can
sounds like a
we
that
change the
sounds like a
subject, please?
Oh, yeah. I mean, how about we talk about like the? I mean, I found out about you through the Vic stuff. I do want to talk about that because I mean, like when all this all started, you know,
well.
like what made you decide, hey, I'm on Vic's side? I mean, like to me, it
Well,
was the fact that they didn't have any evidence at all.
well, okay, I'll tell you. It's very simple. I I am a very critical thinker. Not always, but for the most part. So if I hear an allegation, like a woman comes up and says, like, like if somebody's coming up and having a casual conversation, like I was raped, I'll be like, oh, that's terrible. I'll listen and I'll be like, it's terrible, bad. The moment that they make it an allegation, like they say this person that did this, then I become incredibly skeptical and inquisitive, not because I immediately dismiss everything that you say, but because the allegation holds so much weight. So if you're going to accuse a guy like Vic
Mm-hmm.
of being a pedophile because he hugged a person at a convention one time and you found it troublesome, um, yeah, I'm probably not going to be your friend, and I'm probably going to make fun of you and think that you're terrible. Just generally speaking.
Because I mean, a hug and a kiss is not pedophilic at all. I mean,
Well,
it's one.
okay. Well,
Because
if I went
if
up,
that's the case,
if I
then
went
your
up and
parents are.
hugged and kissed a little girl, yes, that would be fucking pedophilia. But we're talking about a star here. We're talking about people waiting in line to talk to this guy because he
Yeah,
is a star. He is not just randomly walking up and kissing little girls.
yeah, that's
Most
what
of
I'm
the time,
saying.
they want to
By the
hug,
way,
they want to kiss, they want a picture taken because he's a huge star.
that's what I'm saying. Like like with Vic, I mean, he and plus he's Italian. I mean, he's showing affection. And that's like something that your parents would do. You know,
Oh,
like
my cousins in Italy. Are you kidding?
yeah,
Are you kidding me? You walk in. I mean, yeah. It's like they touch you all over the place. They kiss you on both cheeks. Hey, come in. You're family now. For
yeah.
you know for
And
it's
and
like
that and that's how Vic sees his fans.
yeah.
like Vic, like I've met Vic twice, by the way, and this will be my third time seeing him in person.
Yeah, he's
Uh,
awesome.
Vic is one of the most humble, genuine person. Like,
Yeah,
he will talk to you
yeah,
for hours. Like I mean, he is just that type of person that
yeah,
cares about his fans and takes pride in his work. And
yeah.
I mean, he doesn't do it just for the money. He doesn't care about the
No.
money.
Well, obviously he loves what he does, and there's a reason why people love him in return.
Oh yeah,
And it's like I look at Monica Rial and I looked at Jamie Markey and
yeah.
you
I'll
know,
be right
uh,
back. I'll be right
yeah.
back. My mom.
So yeah, I absolutely yeah. Okay. So how's everyone doing tonight? Good,
Doing pretty
wonderful.
good.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I've got a couple beers. They're not Bud Light. Um, like
Why,
because what's that?
why you say that?
Why I say they're not Bud Light?
Yeah.
Uh, well, well, because I'm a Coors guy now. Coors Light. It's a different brand of beer that is, I think, superior. Tastes better.
Huh.
You know, and I'm. You feel more manly when you drink a Coors. Yeah, Uh,
Lord. I'm back.
Welcome back.
Sorry about that.
I
perfect.
mean, I'm glad that my boyfriend doesn't drink. Doesn't. Well,
Well, I do drink, but I drink responsibly, and plus, I don't drink beer. I hate beer. I mean, I do like Jägermeister, and I do like, something with flavor. That's my thing. If you're gonna give me something, it has to have flavor. Otherwise, I'm not gonna drink piss. And Bud
So
Light, I'm gonna tell you this right now. Bud Light, the whole Bud Light stuff. I know that's a hot topic. I work at a grocery store, by the way, and my friend he works for Bud Light, Budweiser, and I see him come in every single day with cases and cases of Bud Light, and I look over at the shelf and see how stocked it is full of Bud Light. Like, and I'm shaking my head. I'm like, wow, because it's still full. Even at the end of the
yeah,
day, it's still full. Like you see, maybe one or two people buying it, but that's all we get. And what they don't realize is that I mean, it doesn't just hurt. It doesn't just hurt that business. I mean, my friend doesn't get paid.
that. Well, it's interesting because since I've started buying Coors, which by the way, I did used to drink Bud Light because I'm not above drinking piss beer. After a long day of work,
Beer.
I don't care. It's cold and it's it's beer.
I hate beer.
But I stopped drinking it, and I tell you what, I feel less transgender than I ever have.
So that's what
No,
they've been
I
using. That's the ingredient they've been using.
yeah, yeah. That's why they call it tranny fluid.
Tranny fluid. Oh my god. But
Yeah,
I
well,
like I like Smirnoff. That's what I drink. Smirnoff screwdrivers. Uh,
it's all good.
I mean,
It's all good and stuff. It's just yeah. I'm glad with my Coors Light.
but
I'll drink it happily after a day of work.
oh yeah. But like I was saying though, like I work at a grocery store, and it is sad to see the stock, the shelves, but at the same time, it's like they pretty much shot themselves in the foot,
Yeah,
and they're not going to
yeah.
recover from it.
I I tell people all the time, if you're building up a business, marketing is the most important thing, and the most valuable thing that you have is your IPs, your mascots, and the things that people recognize. All it takes is one shot,
Hmm.
and it's gone. And it'll take you decades to rebuild it.
Oh yeah.
You know?
I mean, that's why, with my brand, I mean, I'm hoping that I never, like that that's the thing. I don't want to ever like try to please a certain group of people. I want my brand to, I mean, I want it to thrive based off of what you know, what I believe in, what my values are as a person, what I believe
Yeah.
in, and also what the people that are actually buying my product or buying or supporting me believe in.
Yeah.
And that's how it should be.
Yeah.
I mean, because I could buy any drink to quench my thirst.
That's fair.
But people buy, here's what people don't realize people do buy it for the brand.
No,
Because
they absolutely do. Branding is everything.
it is. Because, I mean, anybody can make beer. But
Well,
if your brand, but your brand like has to be like that has to be the most important thing. Your branding.
I'll tell you what, the product itself matters.
Yes.
Because if if tampons, like Tampax, did a sponsorship with Dylan Mulvaney, there's nothing that anyone could really do.
No.
Because I can't boycott it because I don't use that product.
No.
But beer, I mean, this so-called boycott, it's not even a boycott. It's a take two steps to the left and grab another 30 pack that's the same price. That's literally, this is not a boycott. This is, oh, Bud Light, I don't like that. Let me take two steps over here and grab a Miller Light or a Coors Light.
It's kind of like with soda as well. Like, if Pepsi or Coca Cola, like, went, transgender or stuff like that, then people would just go and buy a different pop, a brand of pop.
Yeah, it's like, oh my God, there's another anime
Ah,
icon.
it's Win. What's up, Win? Oh, yeah, Zombie Fan said, oh, ew, I see no difference between Coors and Bud Light. Both are crap beers.
Well, one of them turns you into a woman and one of them doesn't.
Fair point.
You
Oh, hey,
streaming?
Win.
Yes, I'm
Yo,
streaming. Uh,
um,
by the way, Win.
mm,
This is fan advocacy, by the way.
yo,
Your name is Win?
Win.
yes.
Yes, Win.
It's literally all it is. It's the most easiest name to pronounce.
He is my co-host for the Crow's Nest podcast,
I'm
which I
also
need to do another episode of.
yes,
And plus, he's also a fan of VTubers.
yes. I am a big fan. I am a major fan of VTubers. I do filmmaking. I do pretty much everything, really.
Interesting.
I do filmmaking, gaming, shit like that.
Zombie fan said I drink local beers.
No,
You know
I've been
what?
thinking about being a VTuber.
Go ahead, fan.
Well, it's like after a day of work, as long as it's cold, I don't really care. It'd be like, oh, it's a
Right.
special IPA. It's like it's cold and it's wet and it's a drink.
I
Yes.
mean, yeah, same
I
here.
I'm a big fan of, even though it's not actual beer. Wild Bill's root beer is baller as fuck.
Yeah, it is.
I
like
love it.
Bill's root beer.
Man, I literally chugged at least 3 gallons of orange cream soda within the last like 4 weeks.
Yeah, it's
So you brought in a VTuber expert. That's interesting.
yeah.
Yes.
So
Why?
VTuber expert, what is your perspective? I mean I don't know if you
Well,
can
what
talk.
is my perspective on what exactly? What's your question?
What is your perspective on the situation with Silverville and that whole
Oh,
situation.
okay.
We
So
talked about this, by the way.
we talked about this specifically, and with Pekingese graduation, we
Yeah, but
talked
you
about
haven't talked about it with me, which means you haven't really talked about it yet.
Right,
we
exactly.
haven't really talked about it. But the whole server situation in Pekingese started when one of the co-owners of Yolkscast, Yolkscast, the Minecraft team. They did a lot of Minecraft stuff back in the day, but one of the engineers made a website called that streamer who streamed that wizard game.
Yeah, terrible people, by the way.
Yeah.
No. The person who made that website, I know because he worked with Yolkscast specifically, and he took it down later because Big Chad, Big Dick Energy Lewis decided to bonk him on the head. Literally, Big Dick Energy. This man is based, but still, when he made that website, people started attacking Pikami and Silver because of that. Also, Pekara, Muna, and several other Hololive streamers were also attacked because of this. But luckily for them, they are under a really good management company, Hololive specifically. They protect their VTubers especially. But VShojo and I believe a few others also protect their talents extremely well, so they don't really have that problem as of what I've known, because again, Silver breaking down is very emotional, it's very problematic and all that other stuff. But some people have been doxxed and some people have been threatened with death threats because they played Hogwarts Legacy. My personal perspective is this, all right? Fuck those who dox people, because doxing is considered a illegal crime, and not only in North America but pretty much anywhere at this point, except for a few countries. But it's illegally obtaining private information and then uploading it to the internet. And then pretty soon after, 4chan went after the people who doxed not only Pikami but also Silverware on top of that as well. Which, yeah, not a big, but a big problem is that. But
oh my god, I
don't get me
swear.
started.
Zombie fan wants to join. Okay, hang on. Is it all right if I bring Zombie fan? He wants to join.
Oh my god, I'm going to.
That's the whole server situation.
Yeah, and it's all because of a fucking wizard game.
Well, I'm sure that was a very, very riveting explanation, but my fucking internet. Oh my god!
It's a riveting thing, but it gets fucking worse considering the fact that there's some other situations going on currently with not Hololive but Niji Sanji specifically. As you probably already know, Zion a few months ago was terminated by Niji Sanji, and Zion, the person behind Zion, made a 2-page document. I think I can't find it, but she made some very good takes, and VShojo, part of VShojo specifically, ended up I believe K-Son, I believe, made it, or previously Coco from Hololive made some extremely base takes.
We lost fan. No, his
Oh
internet.
shit! Just as I got in here.
I think his internet went on.
Yeah.
Well, shit.
Yeah, but he's a good dude.
Also, what up?
He's a good dude. Fan Advocacy is. He's really cool. I like him.
We were talking about VTubers.
Yeah,
the best
and also I started hearing about the whole Hogwarts Legacy shit. Which, if I have to chime in, the entire shit was fucking stupid.
Yeah,
bro, that shit was a fucking headache, my guy.
It wasn't even a headache. It was straight up infuriating. If their whole, and even then, the most argument, and even then, can't fucking speak. Those con arguments like, if you're buying this, you're a horrible person. Well, I can say that about you if you buy Fanta or a fucking Volkswagen. I can say you support the Nazi Party. That's how those were Fanta was made by fucking horrible people who killed millions. And yet nobody's fucking crying about it. Why? Because it's fucking stupid.
Jesus Christ!
I'm about to lose my.
I'm about to have my
internet keeps going out for no reason.
Oh yeah, I'm familiar with that shit. And to make it even worse,
I may have to back out because my internet.
Yeah,
My
man, go for
internet
it.
Yeah.
seems to not want to
By the way,
work, so I may have to duck out.
I'm sorry,
Perform an
man.
exorcism on it.
Hey, fan.
No.
By the way,
Yes.
uh, get fiber optic. Like, I know it's hard like to find internet companies that have that stuff because I mean I don't know what area you're in. They should have fiber optic,
Yeah, hopefully.
but that's what I would get. I
So
would get
my
fiber optic.
internet is
Hmm?
If you want my opinion on some decent internet connections, go with fucking Verizon, my guy. They have a decent internet plan. If you hook up your phone to it, it's like $25 a month.
Yeah, I've heard great things about Verizon.
It is good shit. It's what I use, and god damn, it works like a goddamn charm, brother. And only for one person too. That's even better because you're saving more money.
Yeah.
It's not like a full fucking family. You just
Yeah,
I don't have a
but
fucking family.
he's been having internet issues all day.
yeah.
Like I said, perform an exorcism on it. It might work.
Fucking exorcism. Goddamn.
But
Yeah,
goddamn.
Yeah, and if I okay, there we go. But yeah,
Here's a
but if
great
I have to
talk- here's a great-
continue, but I have a friend, and she's a trans woman, and she's experienced already a lot of fucking discrimination from people because she lives in a very conservative part of Canada, and she said that she was going to stream the game while raising money for the Trevor Project, and she ended up getting harassed and got death threats over it. It's like, wow, way to show your support to somebody who's trans by threatening them and threatening to dox them and to kill them. That's
wanted to kill them, even though they're that specifically, right, guy?
yeah, and she and you want to know what she fucking did anyway? Because she's like, yeah, fuck you. I'm actually doing good. What are you doing?
All right, VTuber expert. While my internet is still here, what is the name of the VTuber? How do I phrase this? The one that had a train run on them while their husband was in the military. Who's the one I'm thinking of?
I think that is
The VTuber that had a train run on him. Is
the one who
the
cheated
that
on her
was that was
husband.
promoting that charity that mutilates kids?
Oh yeah, the one who was cheating on her husband, who was in the
Yeah,
military.
yeah, a train. It's a crude terminology. It means you're getting.
Wait, okay, I'm confused. Are we talking the shoujo? Are we talking Hololive? Are we talking
The one that was part of Silvervale's like team, but
Yeah.
then stabbed her in
Fruit?
the back.
Fruit. Yep, that's her.
Fruit.
Yeah, Fruit.
I don't know their names. The one that has like the purple hair, I guess.
Yeah, Fruit.
Yes, fruit.
Okay.
Or apricot.
All right, good. Wow, I
Exactly.
was thinking about what that name was. Yeah, that was the one. Yeah, I did a video on that a while ago. I have a cursory knowledge of VTubers. Very simple. I see clips from time to time. No fucking nothing other than the people that did all that shit are just fucking
Fruit, fruit especially is just man.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about it, but I'm a pretty good judge of character, and anyone who stabs their friend in the back, I have a special list. It just goes in the list. It's fucking horrific.
Yo, I'll be back in like 10-15 minutes, but
All right.
just give me a second.
Okay.
All right.
Well, if my internet holds out, I can stay on for a couple more minutes. But was there anything else you wanted me to answer while I'm here?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, like, we were talking about the Vic situation. Like, I mean, like that's when I started following you. Was with all that when all that was going on, which then you followed me back. And like like look, I'm a victim myself of being molested by a woman. Like I was 14 years old when this happened to me, and and it's disgusting. It is.
It is, and what I find to be remarkable is that there are people that hear that and go, Oh yeah, man. Yeah. Oh. How
You got
attractive was?
lucky.
You
Yeah,
got
you got
lucky.
how attractive
Yeah.
was she?
And,
It's like
and,
you
and it's
got
just like, yeah, it
no.
doesn't matter. If
You
a
got
guy's
no.
dealing a kid or a woman's dealing a kid, they
You
deserve
got
a fucking 12 gauge to the head.
yeah. There's no.
Hmm.
People don't understand. So
It's
I do feel
So I
for you on
mean,
that. That's terrible.
and
Right.
yet I did, I did what any reasonable person would do. I'd take it to the law,
Yep.
and that's what happened.
Yep,
Back
good.
to back to the apricot situation with that.
Go ahead.
Specifically, she mentioned a few things, I believe, on her Twitch, I believe, and it's like it's very complex. I'm not sure. I don't really go into that much drama per se, but it's one of the more infamous VTuber dramas.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not as bad as Zion's termination with Nichi Sanji just recently, and of course Zion's discussion on pay rates specifically, because recently there was some announcements where usually when they pay their VTubers, specifically when they sell merch or anything like that, Nichi Sanji members, the VTubers themselves, only get about 1% to 2% specifically of cash or money supporting them.
Wow.
Look at what I got.
oh, you signed Funko.
Yep.
The fucking Funko Pop.
Yep.
I
Signed-
understand that reference.
Yep. It's signed by
Fucking
Vic
Funko
Mignogna.
Pops. Where's my gun?
Signed by Vic Mignogna, which I'm actually going to be buying another one, and
You
I'm
know
going to
what's-
be getting it signed as well.
I have a
So,
very negative
you know-
negative opinion on signed Funko Pops for 3 reasons. Because some voice actors are very pissed off because people are reselling those Funko Pops triple to 4 times the amount of the original price.
I mean, come on. I mean, what do they fucking expect?
Like I remember seeing a Twitter user saying, "Oh man, signed Funko Pop is so damn expensive. Why is that?" Because the people that buy
Yeah.
them resell them at triple the fucking price.
Fan advocacy.
Yep.
While I have you on,
Now, I have a real good question, actually.
Of course,
That's
gotta
awesome.
show the merch. Gotta show the merch.
Of
That's
course.
awesome.
Of course.
I was thinking about.
Dustin, hey.
Okay. I have fan advocacy on here, so I want to send him a shirt.
You're already sending a bunch of us shirts already.
Yep, I am.
Wow.
I'm gonna send fan advocacy a pirate canvas shirt. It's my first merch, and I want to show my appreciation to you, and like that's the whole point of this. Like you took your time to be part of my to be on my channel, and it's because of guys like you and so many other people that have inspired me, and I feel like I owe it to you guys. I do.
You still need to come on my podcast, my guy. You-
Well, you know what? I appreciate it, but there's no need. I mean, so I enjoy conversations like this. I usually understand on my channel. I usually talk about things that are rather depressing. This is like anime and shit like that. This is
It's geek shit.
yeah, this is fun. I'm usually talking about I'm dealing with the fucking scum of the scraping the bottom of the barrel and dealing with people that I'm convinced are not evolutionary human beings, but
Yeah.
from an IQ standpoint. But no, this is fun, and it's like I appreciate it and stuff. I appreciate you having me on. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and that's what I want my streams to be fun. I want them.
Yeah.
I want to have interesting people come on and give their opinions, and we just
Yeah.
fuck around and banter with each other. And,
Fuck around and find out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's fun. I got to make fun of Lizzo being fat. I got to make fun of Bud Light. It's a.
I just make fun of light beer in general because light beer is fucking piss water. Change my fucking mind.
Okay, so listen.
I don't even
On
drink beer and I still call it piss water.
All right.
Facts.
No, that is absolutely true. However, what I will defend is that when you're tired, when you come home, when you have a beer in the fridge, and it's cold and it's wet, it doesn't fucking matter. It's
Right.
as long as it's not Bud Light because that'll turn you into a woman. Coors Light is, I don't like Miller Lite. I do think it tastes actually like piss. But well, actually, I guess I am more of a snob than I thought. But Coors Light, I don't care. It tastes like
you need to try
cheap
Blue
beer.
Moon. I will
And
say,
with Bud Light with Coors Light cans, after you drink the beer, then you have things to shoot at. It's we recycle here.
yep.
Get yourself an airsoft gun and shoot that shit.
No,
Load
Nah.
it. Load it a 12 gauge.
I mean, for me, I just go for a fucking IPA.
I
Oh
live
my god.
I live in a state that actually allows you to own guns, so
Yeah.
I don't. And I live in the middle of fucking nowhere, so
By the way, my state, it's a concealed carry state, and it's also an open carry state.
yep.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, my advice for anyone: AR-15 is a complete and total showpiece. The left doesn't understand anything about guns. If you really want a home defense, get a Centurion Arms bullpup. It's a semi-automatic 12-gauge shotgun. You can get a 30-round clip because they're too stupid to understand what that is. And if you've ever fired it, it's an absolute animal, and I would choose that every time for home defense.
The fact he called a magazine a clip makes me want to slap you. Not gonna lie.
Okay,
You pulled
look,
a Sneeko, my guy.
Look,
Don't
look,
Sneeko, whatever.
look. I understand the terminology. I get it. Magazine
bro.
and clip.
The only
But
time you call it a clip
up
is
here,
because of
they
one
call
brand.
them clips. I don't know why they call them clips, but it's just
It's because of the M1 Grand.
Yeah.
The M1 Grand has a specific magazine built into it called a stripper clip. That's where clips come from.
Wait,
Yeah.
stripper?
I don't know why they
Strippers?
call them clips up here, but they
What?
just call them clips up here. A magazine. That is correct. It's
What?
Called a
magazine.
magazine, my guy.
30-round
What?
magazine. I've been corrected, but up
What?
here
What the
they
hell
all
is a
call them
stripper
clips.
clip?
That's what they.
So a
Is
stripper
it
clip,
strip?
it's
Is it a clip
it's-
that strips?
no. So pretty much they call it a stripper clip because of three reasons. Number one, the M1 Grand has a built-in magazine chamber that has 10 rounds.
Okay.
Specifically, you would load in the stripper clip into the integrated mag, and then the of course the gun will reload itself.
Does it shoot?
Yes, it shoots.
Okay,
When you
that's
shoot
all I
it, it
care
makes
about.
the ping.
I
When you
don't
shoot,
care.
it makes the ping.
Okay, I don't care about the gun as long as it shoots. That's all that matters to
It
me.
makes the infamous ping. All right, I'm a World War II fan. All right,
Oh
fight
my
me.
god.
So
See,
the only
this is what I
stripper
love.
clips up here are the ones that the strippers use to keep their dollar
These are
bills in
called
check.
bags.
Okay.
Hey, let's go.
Up here, people call them
I gotta
clips.
get
It's
critical
it's
on
wrong, but it's just
It-
habit.
Hate it.
It's just hearing that just makes my brain fucking hurt.
I want to fucking
it
die.
does, but you know what? It's yeah. I understand. I used to live in California. I didn't even know what a gun was.
Really?
Hey, I live in Oregon. I'm just a state above Cali.
Oh my god!
I'm from a liberal state, and I know what a stripper clip is.
You know what? Yeah, California has become the worst when it comes to that.
Yeah.
And by the way, in California, ammo is. I mean, it is. That's how they've gotten people to not buy guns is because the ammunition is 3 times what it costs everywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
But
fair
that's
And you
not
are
just-
prohibited from buying it from the cheaper sites. They will not ship to California.
My preference of a weapon
that's
is
not-
PhD bullpup. I fucking love that thing. 2-chamber magazine with 14 rounds. Oh,
The thing though is, the gun store up in London, Kentucky. Which, by the way, I'm from Kentucky. I don't care where people know where I live. I don't.
Southern heck.
Ammunition,
You got pretty good bourbon.
I mean, yes, Kentucky bourbon's good. But what I was gonna say was, ammunition that's everywhere though. It costs a lot of money. But it depends on what type, and it also depends on the gun itself. Like my friend has an AR-15, and AR-15, mostly it's people who don't understand what AR-15 means. It means Armalite rifle.
Which, if I hear anyone call it an assault rifle, I'd be like, okay, define what a fucking assault rifle is.
I was
What is
I
an
got
assault
an
rifle?
assault. I got
was
an
just gonna
assault
say that.
bottle.
I blame Halo for that.
I got an assault bottle of Mountain Dew Summer Freeze. I mean, assault itself, like, yeah, it's dumb. It's an umbrella term. It could apply to any type of rifle. Could be considered assault rifle if that's your intention is to assault. Hell, any gun. Which here's a fun fact. Handguns are the weapon that are used in most mass shootings.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because they're commonly accessible and they are the most affordable.
Yeah.
So what is the consensus on favorite handgun? Since we're on the topic of guns,
Glock.
Yeah, I like how Glocks feel.
Glocks, yeah, I mean they're common. I prefer.
They're common and they're simple and easy to understand if you're like a first time gun owner.
are we
First
talking
time gun
9
owner, yeah.
millimeter? Are
9
we talking a
millimeter.
38 special? Are we talking...
Let's go with more common, which is 9mm.
It's 9mm.
Yeah.
I prefer 45 ACP myself, but
I like
Get a Colt for that one.
I like my 1911.
Yeah.
I want a Glock 19 though. That's the one I want.
I used to own one, but I sold it, which I'm not going to go into why I did. That's personal.
I prefer 45 ACP because, some people are wearing body armor. So I mean, most of the time they're wearing either standard civilian vests or level 2 vests. So I might as well bring 45 ACP. I mean, might as well.
We got bears and moose up here. So, I mean,
Bears
I don't
and
think
moose.
a 45 is really good.
Yeah, 45. Yeah, you're gonna want a
9
450.
millimeter. A 9
Yeah, you're
millimeter
gonna
is not going to do shit.
Yeah, you're gonna want a 454 Casull for that
Yeah,
one.
because like I love the left's argument about we care about the Second Amendment, but not if you're gonna shoot people. I mean,
I'm only gonna shoot somebody.
Here's the thing people don't
My fucking
realize.
life.
Here's the thing people don't
Me or you?
realize. Like, guns are killing tools.
Yeah.
They are.
Excuse me, pirate.
Yeah.
Mammoth was trying to join in.
Oh. Let's see.
They hit the sauce a little bit too much there, PC. Let me tell you, holy shit.
Sorry about that. But yeah, I mean, that's their argument right there. We need stricter gun laws, yet the United States is the most strictest when it comes to guns. Like that's a stupid argument because I mean, we have the most strictest, I mean, when it comes to, gun ownership, like we have the strictest. Like you cannot get a gun if you are a convicted felon. Or, which, if you're like mental health as well, I think they...
Japan.
Yeah.
Japan does not allow guns at all, period.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't say that. They do allow guns, they're just extremely hard to get.
Yeah.
Like you gotta specify what you're gonna use it for, and then you can go through an insane amount of courses.
I mean,
it's at the point where, like, do you want a gun in Japan even?
And people,
I mean, the UK is the same way. Like,
yeah,
the UK is like, okay, you want to own a gun, what are you going to use it for? Okay, take all these freaking courses.
And not just that, here's the thing, in Australia, they banned guns, yet...
A prison colony again.
Yeah. Australia, I would say Australia is probably the worst.
Yeah.
When it comes to gun control, because here's the thing: Australia, they ban their guns, yet they have the most stabbings. They also have. I mean, they even had. I think there was. I think they had like a recall thing, to like to make it to where you could sell your guns. Like
buyback.
Yeah, buyback.
Yeah, buyback.
They had a buyback thing, yet that's only like in certain cases. Like if you had a handgun, you could sell it back, but when it came to rifles and stuff, you couldn't sell them back. So some people,
yeah.
some people still have guns because they
I'm-
can't they can't sell them back.
I want to ask you guys this question because I did a thing for this, but
Okay.
how do okay? Here's the best question of all. Do violence in video games make people violent?
No,
Okay,
they don't.
they don't.
They make me fucking violent. Look at me! Look at me! Look at me!
Yeah, and it's like whenever I hear people say that video games cause violence, it's been researched heavily. Like ever since freaking Columbine happened, it's been researched.
When I play Doom,
every single time they say no, they do not cause violence.
when I play Doom, I want to
Doom.
kill somebody.
When I play Doom, I feel closer to the Lord.
When
I
play Doom, you're close to the Lord.
Video games
You know what's
can
funny?
absolutely make you violent. I have had several occasions where I'm playing a game, and I feel very violent when I see that most of the content is behind some kind of microtransaction paywall.
Oh God.
That's
I
good.
tell you what, I don't think I've ever been that ready to commit violence in my life.
You know what's
What do
funny?
you mean you
know
want me
what's
to pay for the game that I just paid $70 for?
dollars
Oh,
for?
sorry.
You
Speaking
pay $70
of-
for games. I feel bad for you.
Speaking of that, I do want to talk about that a little bit about, like these games that are being, like, like The Last of Us. It came out on Steam recently, and it's terrible.
It's
It's terrible.
It was so broken. And do you want to know what happened that caused that port to be so bad? Naughty Dog, rather than make a proper port, just took the PS5 version and with some modifications. That's basically
Just
what they
slapped it.
did.
They just slapped it.
And
So
slapped
the
the
game
$70
starts
price.
looking for more VRAM. But here's the thing: unless you got something like a 30 or 4090, you're not gonna have enough. It's looking for like 16 gigabytes of VRAM because of how the PS5 is built. Because VRAM and RAM are combined together.
Fuck me.
My computer
And
can
keep in mind, I got a 38 Ti. It has 12 gigabytes of VRAM. Yeah, it's quite a bit, but definitely not enough for that game. It's like, yeah, Naughty Dog, you should have let just fucking Nexus make the port instead of yourself.
The thing is with gaming in general, typically, this is what I always say to anybody who plays video games: don't buy what you want to get, buy what you want to play.
Mhm.
I say this to not only people that play games. I say this to people who want to get these games on a discounted sale, because typically with this is why I prefer physical games compared to digital, because digital games don't typically go on sale unless if it's Steam. I don't.
And even then, digital games should cost less because there's literally no cost to distribution, literally.
Literally,
And
like
not
you're
just-
literally.
But getting back to my point, like, how much did they charge for The Last of Us on
$60
Steam?
frickin' dollars on PC.
Full price.
$60.
Always full price. Always expect
Yeah.
60 or for full price. It's the same thing with P5. They did Atlas did a P5 port, P5R specifically, and it was priced at $60.
I thought they charged
Yeah.
70.
But here's the thing: the port was actually freaking good.
Yeah, because it was because the Atlas did the Persona 3 portable port, however, fucking sucks.
yeah,
dick.
that one sucks.
That sucks dick. I'm glad I didn't buy it. I'm glad I got P4G and P5R on Steam.
Same.
No, actually, I got it on Switch. Actually, I got it on Switch because I did not want to buy it on Steam.
Speaking of inferior hardware, are you guys excited for Tears of the Kingdom?
Fuck yes.
That is gonna run like shit on the Switch. I'm just gonna say it.
Oh.
I honestly have no faith in Nintendo. I just don't.
Monolith's based as fuck. They're posting W's for these last few years, man. Knowing Monolith, they'll do good.
So, you know what?
Honestly.
I hear people say that about the Switch, and here's my rebuttal. Fuck the PC, the PS5, and the Xbox. Do you know, I bought a game for the first time in years because I don't really have time to play games much anymore.
Who gives a shit about
I
what console you
bought
have?
Jedi Survivor, and I
God.
wanted to play it on the PS5 because I'm a fucking casual. So I put it in disc. I bought a fucking disc, like a fucking disc.
Download.
Yeah,
Download.
190 some odd fucking gigabytes.
Yeah.
I wanted to play it on a couple hours on a Sunday. I bought a disc because I was stupid enough to believe that you can say whatever you want about the fucking Switch. Do you know how long it took me to update that thing? It took me about 10 seconds.
That's because it's fucking EA. What do you expect?
It's not even just EA. It's just Sony in general because they
It's
fucking strangle
downloading
your
from a
bandwidth.
disc. I can put my cartridge into the Switch and be playing the game within 10 minutes. That is, for me, a much more valuable thing than all of the
Okay.
graphical power in the fucking world.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean,
I don't
listen.
care
Hey,
about
hey,
graphics.
hey.
I don't care about graphics. That's the thing. I care about if the game's fucking good, I'll buy it and I'll play the fucking game because I want to play the fucking game. It's
I
that
mean,
simple.
that's what
I don't care about
he's
graphics. I don't care about
saying.
data. I don't care about any of that shit. If the game's fucking good, I'll fucking play it. If the
That's
game's
what he's
fucking bad,
saying.
I won't buy it. It's
200 gigabytes.
Hey, listen. That's what he's saying though, Win. I mean, he plays it because, I mean, which here's the thing. Accessibility, that is a big part of, anything, which is why I support, I mean, I know I'm going to get a lot of shit for this. I support piracy.
Fucking based. Let's go. Living up to that pirate name in your name.
I'm sorry.
I-
I'm sorry. I do. I mean, I know a lot of people are gonna hate me. I don't give a fuck. But I
Hey,
support.
I'm just gonna say this, but I have totally legally acquired a copy of Astral Chain. I got it running at 60 on Yuzu.
But listen,
Astral Chain.
the reason I support piracy is when companies screw over their customers to the point,
Reports in general, typically.
to the point where you have no choice. I mean,
especially with older titles, because
and this is what I've.
Oh my god,
I mean,
older
Nintendo,
titles don't get me
here's the
started on
thing.
that shit.
Here's the thing. I love
So-
Nintendo. I love
If
yeah,
it's
because
a
here's the
retro
thing.
title,
Because here's the thing. If
that
go ahead.
emulation and stuff, I think
Sorry about
emulation
that,
and stuff-
folks.
I think emulation and stuff like that is perfectly acceptable for retro games and stuff. For preservation, to
Yes.
enjoy it, nobody's selling it. Most of those companies have gone out of business.
Yes,
It's
and
no
and
problem.
that's the argument I was gonna make
But
here.
as somebody who runs a business and has actually, has seen people attempt to copy my product and give it away for free, there is no. I would go to the ends of the earth to burn everything that person has if I could find them because of all the effort that I put into it. I look at my employees, look at the business. If somebody is stealing from me, and that's not just on me as Nintendo's a huge corporation. That's R&D, that's marketing, that's investment, that's all that stuff. So if it's a game that's currently being sold, like Tears of the Kingdom leaking before the game is even out, I have a huge problem with that. But preservation and retro games, I
Yeah.
think that's a service that's valuable.
Yes,
For
and
everybody.
I'll just and I'll,
I mean, in my case, I disagree personally. I mean, because one, other regions for them games are incredibly fucking expensive, so people have no choice but to pirate. Like Romania, for example, games are fucking
Or
expensive there. So
Russia.
if people want to play something like Jedi Survivor, they have no choice but to fucking pirate it. Otherwise, there goes their check for the week.
and not just that.
Well,
Here's
find
the
some.
thing.
You've got a goat and two chickens. Trade it for somebody, and eventually, you can get yourself to a game.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. Video game preservation. I mean,
Yeah.
look at what Nintendo did with the eShop. I mean, like
Yeah, I mean, take a look at like
look
the
at the
Wii
3DS
eShop, for example.
the Wii
Like
U and the 3DS eShop. You can't play those games no more. They're basically delisted. You have no access to it. The only way to access to it, you gotta pirate it.
Yeah, exactly.
preservation is great.
And if Nintendo's gonna get all pissy about people pirating retro games, well, it's like, well, you could
Yes,
easily
don't
fix the
make
problem.
money.
But put them
Okay.
up for sale on the fucking eShop.
Yeah,
Let me step in. Let me
Virtual
step
console.
in defense of the business owners here. Nintendo. So understand what Tears of the Kingdom is.
right.
It's not just a game. It is their biggest game. It is their game that is going to sell them many, many more consoles. For them, it's not just like one title. And by the way, Pokemon leaked as well.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
Nintendo is getting their biggest games leaked early. And as a business, my response to that would actually be 10 times harsher than Nintendo. I would burn everyone to the ground because you're talking about investors. You have a fiduciary duty to your investors to do everything you can to prevent loss. So I'm looking at this from a business, from retro games, 100%. But leaking brand new Pokemon games, brand new before they release.
I mean,
Tears of the Kingdom 4 weeks before it's released. That for me is where
but
I draw the line and say
Oh
right.
God,
absolutely
I
not.
don't get
mean,
me
but
started on
here's the thing.
Xenoblade. Oh,
Here's the thing though. Here's the thing. Like that. I mean, we talked about it earlier though about ethics in gaming journalism. Like what Kotaku did. Yeah. I mean,
Fucking Kotaku.
yeah. I'm sorry.
Goddamn Kotaku.
Oh boy.
but the thing with yeah, Nintendo. I'm not saying Nintendo is like the worst company ever. I mean, they're not. They're really not. And I would gladly buy Tears of the Kingdom. But if Nintendo did it to the point where like they were adding microtransactions to the game,
Oh
or
no.
if they were doing shady business practices to garner more money for you to get access to that content, then yeah, I would pirate it.
Yeah, for me, I draw the line at $70. I do not support $70 games.
Yeah, and I don't either. I think $60, I mean, is a fair price. I mean, unless you're getting a game like Xenoblade Chronicles 3 where you're getting, season pass, I don't see
or the special edition.
or special editions.
Like
I
like,
don't
like
see
I
no.
fucking get like a fucking brain dead idiot because I literally spent
But
like
even some of the special editions aren't that great either, to be honest with
Yeah.
So
be honest.
I actually agree with you on $70 games in principle, but the reason why I don't mind paying $70 for Tears of the Kingdom is because of how many hours I put into Breath of the
well,
Wild.
I mean,
Here's-
that's
here's-
fine.
Okay.
here's the thing. Monolith made Breath of the Wild. So Monolith games specifically are really fucking good and they're high fucking quality. I say it's
They're
fucking
the best.
They're the best, man.
Oh, I mean, I paid $70 for Elden Ring.
Oof.
I did because I got
it gifted to me from a
I
friend.
got the deluxe edition. Okay.
Oh, okay, that explains
Deluxe
it.
edition. That explains it.
I paid $70 for
Yeah,
Hogwarts
if it's $70
Legacy.
for like a deluxe edition or something, then that's fine.
I mean,
but
I paid
but
70
for base game, just no.
I mean, that's what I paid for Hogwarts Legacy. I didn't buy the base game. I wanted all the extra stuff. That's
You
why I
wanted
paid
yeah,
$70.
that's what I did. I wanted to ride a fucking Thestral. Are you kidding me?
But I mean, I would gladly give $70 for Tears of the Kingdom, and that's what I'm gonna do. Because
Yeah, okay. And at the end of the day, it's your fucking money. I don't care how you spend it.
I mean, because I can always expect a good product from Monolith. And I love, and here's the thing, I'll be honest with you. When I first played Breath of the Wild, I fucking hated it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sure.
I did. I hated Breath of the Wild. I hated
A lot
it.
of people did.
Like, did not love this game. I did not at first. I was so frustrated with it. I stopped playing it for about a week. Yeah, I stopped playing it for a week. And then, after watching a couple of videos, because I like to watch, other people streaming and gaming, and seeing how you were able to do certain things, that got me back to picking it up again. And, now that I've taken time off of it, I actually enjoy it. And I guess it was because I mean it's that inner like that Zelda kid in me. Like I'm not used to change. Like the game changing so much to the point where it doesn't feel like a Zelda game. I mean
I had an identical experience to Breath of the Wild, by the way.
Yeah.
I kept getting killed by a roaming guardian. And when I first started playing, I didn't understand. And I got killed probably 10 times and then I put the game down. But I love the game.
I came up with a term for it, what I experienced. It's called the Elden Ring effect. Because that's how I felt. Because that's how I felt playing Elden Ring.
It's the Dark Souls effect. Let's be honest here.
Yeah, because Elden Ring, I felt the same way about Breath of the Wild. I mean, I didn't like it at first. I hated it. I was like, I hate games where I have to force myself to get better at it just to get good at it. And especially with a game called Zelda. I mean, I'm expecting dungeons. I'm expecting, I expected Elden Ring to be like Dark Souls. I could go through the game, Dark Souls, and be able to beat it. But I was wrong. This is nothing like Dark Souls. It's a completely different experience.
I'm still traumatized from the Guardian theme from that fucking game.
I remember that. I remember when I first encountered that Guardian and it hit me one time, I fucking lost it. I was like,
Ah,
I'm
Tree
done.
Sentinel.
Fuck this game. I'm done.
Uh,
I was
This
like,
is just
I'm
some
fuck.
comparisons.
I said, I'm done with this game. I hate it. I wanted to do a rant about it, how much I hated it.
Hey, hey, hey,
But
hey, hey,
but
hey,
then
Pirate-
I realized. But then I realized I would have been like Quantum TV. I would have been the next Quantum TV.
Oh God.
No, don't mention thy name. Don't
No.
mention thy name.
But I'm just saying I would have
Don't
been.
mention thy name. We don't speak of thy name.
I don't have enough booze.
Speak of thy name here, pirate.
But I
Oh,
mean,
boy.
I don't want to be like that.
Don't speak of thy name ever again.
But yeah, Breath of the Wild. I mean, it's a great game. Now, I mean, I enjoy it now, just like with
Fabulous.
Elden Ring.
Okay, well, I hate to cut this short, but I actually have to go. It's been great talking with you. Yeah, contact me if you want to do this again.
Of course. I mean, I'd love to have you on here again.
All right. Well, it's nice meeting all of you, and I'll see you next time.
See you next time, man.
Hey, hey, pirate.
Yo,
Have you been hit by the monkey in Xenoblade?
I haven't even played Xenoblade yet. Like,
You
Bruh.
played Xenoblade 1, right?
yes, I played Xenoblade 1.
Have you
yes.
met the monkey in Guar Plains yet?
Yes, I think.
Good.
But I've. It's been a while. I'm sorry.
Of course, if you're a Xenoblade player, you know about the monkey, don't you?
But I mean, I like fan advocacy. I don't agree with everything he says, but I like him, and that's why I like talking to people like that. I mean, who aren't afraid to have a different perspective, And that's the thing, I don't expect everyone to 100% agree with me on everything. I mean, that's just how I am.
Mhm.
But what do you think, Zombie?
Yeah, it's pretty chill. I mean, yeah, we definitely disagree on some stuff.
Yeah. But I mean, he's a really good dude.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's the whole point of this, The whole point of this is to show different perspectives. Yeah. I mean, I definitely enjoy having guests like him. I really do.
That's
And
awesome.
next week, I'm. By the way, I'm gonna end the stream. I'm gonna end the stream. By the way, because I have to get ready for Metrotham Con, which will be Friday. Uh, do you guys have anything to say? Like anything going on?
I said
nothing-
last week.
Not really much. I mean, I do have my next video in the works, and that's gonna be a while because I actually want to make it good.
I have a podcast coming. I have a podcast that I'm currently editing. Currently, it's gonna be uploaded tomorrow. I also have Cards Against Humanity videos that I'm also uploading on my channel, my main channel, of course, Win. And then the Irrated Boys channel is going to get Cards Against Humanity. And then 2 weeks after is going to be Archon that we're going to be streaming or recording on.
Nice.
I don't think I'll be able to make it, but I will write down some questions. Ask him about the dog.
Oh.
Let's go.
God damn.
Bleh. Yes.
I'm one sub away from 400.
For the fucking me. God damn it.
Yeah.
This this board this board this board you clean your fucking self up from that, brother. You got some stains on that pants of yours. Yes. At win FRFX. FRFX, my guy. And then at Everybody Boys for Everybody's Productions. If you want to look at that shit. Balls.